Well, as you just saw, the ANC's internal factional battle spilled over into Parliament today. Outside of that, though, the COVID-19 vaccine rollout dominated. Lindsay Dentlinger following the President's Q&A for us. She joins us now live from our Cape Town studio. So, Lindsay, before we get to the vaccine, what is the President saying about cadre deployment?
So, Shahan, it was to be expected that the opposition parties were going to use this opportunity to corner the president in any which way they can, given recent developments, not only about those suspensions, but also his testimony that he gave at the Zondo Commission of Inquiry, which also, of course, included cadre deployment. And so the DS, John Steenhuisen, jumped in there to ask the president about a bill that the DA was proposing to put a stop to cadre deployment. The president said he hadn't had sight of this bill, so he couldn't say whether he would support it or not. But he definitely drew a line in the sand, saying it was the end of state capture and also the end of employing people who are not fit for purpose. But Shahan, he defended what he called cadre deployment, cadre development instead of cadre deployment, saying that there was nothing wrong with governments the world over employing people who could advance the manifestos of their parties in key positions, and that sometimes, he said, these people were found wanting. But by and large, he said that this was not a problem to appoint those who are politically connected to key positions so that they could drive the agenda of the ruling party.
And then, of course, lots of questions about the vaccine and money.
Yes, Shahan, at least two questions, both one posed by the DA, one from the EFF. Of course, many questions about the COVID-19 vaccine rollout. The opposition parties, of course, feeling that government is failing, just too slow out of the starting blocks on this, and that it will never reach the targets for population immunity and never be able to get all these vaccine doses here that have been promised to South Africa. The president saying that any delays were not as a result of government ineptitude. He also didn't foresee any changes in the rollout program when he was asked by the Freedom Front Plus why the goalposts kept shifting. And then, of course, the EFF put the question on the table saying the figures just didn't add up, thought government was playing loose and fast with people's lives, and wanted to know what it was paying for vaccines and where that money was going to come from. And the president saying that no cent would be spared and that he was having sleepless nights to ensure that South Africans are spared the effects of the coronavirus. Let's take a listen to his response to the EFF.
When it comes to securing the health of our people by providing vaccines, the South African government is going to make sure that we pull out all stops and we provide the finance to do precisely that. And if it will be necessary for the Minister of Finance to come back to Parliament for either a supplementary budget or to come forward in October for the medium term budget statement, policy statement, that will happen. We are not ever going to sacrifice the health of South Africans in relation to this pandemic. We have never done so in the past. We were able to face the HIV pandemic and embarked on a process of mobilizing resources so that we can save the lives of our people. And by and large, we have succeeded in doing precisely that, with the provision of antiretrovirals, which we now provide to millions of South Africans. And similarly, with this pandemic, money, financial resources are never going to be the issue. We are going to save the lives of South Africans.